My pal Scott Major is on the line, and he's a disaster prep expert. And we're in a situation here, Scotty, that isn't pretty. I talk to so many different people that I'm just going to ride it out of my house, and I'll say, but aren't you in an evacuation zone? Yeah, but I'm going to stick it out. Is that insane?
Thanks for having me, pal. Great to hear from you again. Yes, it's pretty much insane when you understand and appreciate the magnitude of the storm and the volatility of it being more substantial than Andrew and moving in a direction that's more parallel up the coast rather than across it like Andrew did. So it's a very substantial thing to understand, and you need to appreciate what you need to do before the storm and after the storm. Most people are just getting prepared and doing all the things you need, like getting batteries and getting all the food and supplies and other things. But it's important from an insurance perspective to immediately take photos or video of your entire exterior and interior house in as much detail as possible, because you want to have a snapshot of the potential condition of your house, your clothing, other types of things that might be, payment by insurance available.
It's funny, though. If you looked at my house right now, you'd say, it was just hit by a hurricane, because we have everything from the outside piled up inside right now. All the lawn furniture. I have a stupid sailfish laying on my couch.
You have the impact windows, right?
Yes, I do, yeah. Impact glass.
Hilarious.
Impact glass is good to what, 150, something like that?
Yes, and it depends on the type of impact glass you have. The reality is that most of those windows are going to hold, and you're not going to have those kinds of problems, with substantial glass breakage. But regardless, you really should take pictures, because you'd be surprised at how strong that will be when after the storm you call up your insurance adjuster and you tell him, hey, listen, here's the actual pictures before and after. Here's the damages that have occurred. It's very effective. Another thing to do is to make sure that you have copies of your insurance policies. That's all of them. That's your windstorm, your flood, any other insurance, commercial business policies. If you don't have them, call your agent, say, I want certified copies or full copies of all those policies, because you want to have them at ready hand. They're going to have the phone numbers to call, and you're going to want to call directly to the insurance company as opposed to your agent, because first one in is usually first one paid. There's also going to be, since there's been a state of disaster declared by the federal government under EM 3385, that means FEMA is activated, which means that if you don't have insurance, you can also get coverage by going through FEMA and supplying those things. And it's important for everyone to understand that as soon as you do have damage right after the storm, you want to make a claim, because there'll be millions and millions of claims made.
Yeah, I'm concerned about the insurance industry. A friend of mine is in the business said it's good if it goes up the East Coast, and we're waiting for Dennis Falcon at eight or so from the National Hurricane Center, but and Brian Norcross is going to be on.
Yep.
If it goes up the East Coast, and there's a lot of people, a lot of buildings, a lot of money, it could devastate the insurance industry. No?
There's no doubt it's going to have a profound impact on there. Keep in mind for your listeners that there is a Florida fund that's available, a recovery fund in the event that some insurance company claims or goes out of business. One of the other problems you're going to have is that FEMA puts aside billions of dollars in funds to help people, and those funds have been exhausted or close to being exhausted and will be exhausted through the Harvey situation. And so there'll be some political issues related to apportioning probably between $50 and $100 billion of additional funds that are going to occur, because this will be in the tens of billions of dollars, and the hardest thing is going to be getting those funds quickly. And so the listeners who are listening should be urged to make claims early, to make sure when you make them, you have documentation, you have your insurance policy and all those things, and that you constantly and continually write to your insurance agent and to your insurance company, because you make a phone call and you say, hey, I've got damage, and they say, we'll get back to you. You got to hope there's a recording, as opposed to actually getting the email address or other types of contact information and writing them and say, dear insurance person, thanks so much for agreeing to show up, on September 9th. We'll see you there at 1 o'clock. And then when they don't show up, you write them another letter and say, hey, you didn't show up. Where are you and when are you going to be here? 11 kisses you. Because when you do that, you will set up rights to complain with the state of Florida, and what's called bad faith in Florida, which gives you additional damages and urges the insurance company to immediately pay your claims.
They better get their asses down here, so we'll set Scott Major after him. Buddy, I appreciate your insight, and if you're in Fort Lauderdale, get out.
Hey, thanks so much, pal, and appreciate your show, and you have a wonderful show and a great group there. Thanks,
All right,
pal.
thank you, Scott Major. Oh, boy, scary stuff.